Welcome back to the Till. In this video, I'm going to go through a few things on the Fed and inflation, the impacts of those on interest rates, a little bit of problems with AI, and how much do you think a Falls Church property escalated? Let's get into it. My name is Kevin Retcher, owner of First Meridian Mortgage. I'm a veteran-owned mortgage broker doing business in Virginia, Maryland, and DC, and also a licensed realtor for 20 plus years and the owner of KSA Insurance Agency, a licensed insurance agent for over 20 years. So the latest inflation reports came in around 3.8% year over year, which was higher than the markets were hoping for and well above the 2% Fed's target. So because of that, traders have shifted from expecting rate cuts to potentially rate hikes later in this year. Let's take a quick look at that. You can get a free account at the CME group.com, and it has the predictions and probabilities for a Fed watch tool here. I use it all the time. If you look at this, there is essentially a 48% chance in January of a Fed staying pat, and 39% that they could raise rates. 41% the month after that. They're expecting inflation to continue throughout the course of this year. I think a lot's going to depend on oil, but there are no predictions. 11% that we could have a rate cut in October of next year. So more than a year and a half away. So we got 29 days before the new Fed chairman comes on board. And in general, what does it mean for you? If you're waiting for lower interest rates this year, I think that's a risky bet. Just don't think it's going to happen unless the straits open up and inflation was to just, if we went into a recession, maybe, but likelihood of rates dropping precipitously is unlikely, right? So rates are likely to stay in this general range. I don't see them moving lower. They could be choppy. So instead of trying to time the bottom of the market, you want to have a different plan for the next year, in my opinion. If you look at this 10-year over the last 5 days, we were as low as in the 420 range and went as high as 461. So, and this is just the turbulence in the day. If you look over a month period, 425 all the way up to 461. So rates have done nothing but go up, right? So if you were in the market and got pre-qualified a month ago, you might want to double check with your loan officer and see where you're at now. You may have to back off your expectations on what you might be able to afford, right? And so speaking of expectations, this house right here in Falls Church, this humble little home, right? Expectations and what may or may not happen. This was listed at $999,950, right? This humble little house was priced at $999,950, right? So my clients did a little homework on it, and they figured that within this half-mile radius, the most that a home escalated above list price was 13%. So that would put them at about 1,130,000 if you went 13% above. And then we kind of looked at what some of the Arlington properties were going for, which was closer to 20% in some instances over ask for a hot property, right? And so my clients were pretty aggressive. They went 26% above list price, like 1.268 roughly. And come to find out, we did not win. They actually had 3 offers over 1.3, which means that someone escalated over 30% above list price. Now, in general, it was a nice place, but it was an older home, and in the end, it did have a like an in-law suite or a rentable EDU in the basement, which could help offset. But what I'm trying to get at there is expectations of what you can buy within your means, especially with interest rates moving up. Double check if you are doing some financing with your loan officer. Make sure that that's within the confines of where you want to be. So buy with a beer budget, save, build equity, move up to the champagne house when the time is right for you, right? If the numbers work, and you can escalate and you can do all of that, pay cash, things of that nature, great, then you're buying within your means. But if you're one of those individuals that's pushing it and actually having to change your lifestyle for the home, make sure it's what you want. And it's, at the water cooler, you don't always have to win. Right now, we're going into the summer, and with interest rates popping up, we're going to have a little bit more inventory, or it could be less inventory if things really slow down and people decide not to list the properties in this environment. But the properties that stay on the market a little bit longer, you might have a chance to fit it into the beer budget instead of trying to win in a heavy competition in that champagne budget market. So the other thing, I digress. I saw an article about AI, got a little frustrated. Quick story: do not have any bank accounts ACH set up with PayPal. I'm going through a situation where someone got into my account and ordered an ACH payment of over $2,700. I immediately I got a text from PayPal that said, Kevin, did you send XYZ $2,700 some dollars? Hit 1 for yes, 2 for no. A reply is needed, right? Well, in English, if a reply is needed, that means you're not going to send out the money until you get a reply. Within an hour, I replied 2 for no. And it said, great, we'll open up a fraud case. I got home. I literally called that night, and guess what happened? In the old days, we'd have someone answer the phone, maybe from another country that was in our time zone, and we could talk to somebody. Well, guess what I got? I got the good old AI, right? I started a fraud case. Next day, they said, no fraud. Kevin, you owe the money. I'm like, no, I didn't authorize it. And what's the point of saying no on a reply and that you're going to investigate the fraud if you're going to send out the money anyway? So when I was talking to them, get this. They actually told me on the phone, at least, that they sent the money at 7:01, but I didn't get a text till 7:02. What sense does that make? So for all you people working in AI, let's make sure that AI is working for us. And, if we get a text that says no, no means no, as we all know, right? So I digress. With the AI, it helps us in so many different ways, but in this particular situation, it's failing me just ever so slightly. So in the end, I did want to go over one last thing. If you're in the market right now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a plan that could help you potentially save a little bit of money until interest rates might come down, right? I'm not going to promise that they are, but in general, I have a lender right now on a conventional $1 million purchase, 20% down, 80%, so an $800,000 loan, I would basically be at 6.5% with a free lender paid 1 year buy down. So what that would mean is in the first year here, you would pay 5.5%, and then the years 2 through 30 would be at the 6.5. So if you're out there and you still need to qualify at that 6.5 because it's going to go to that rate, but could get you a free 1 year lender paid buy down that could help potentially save some money until that hopefully next rate cut or the oil starts to flow. So this is my big idea to try to save some people some money in this next 12-month time frame. And then we would do a no-cost refi, hopefully when rates actually drop at that point. So again, my name is Kevin Retcher. I'm the owner of First Meridian Mortgage. This is the Till. If you're not subscribed, please do me a solid. Hit that button down there and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe it, please. The Till is truth in lending and life. I'll let you know what happens with PayPal. I'm battling them pretty hard right now. If you're in need of a little bit of help for the first 12 months, that 1 year buy down might be able to help you. Keep in mind, I never make more than 1%. So on a mortgage. And so if you're under contract with somebody else and the rates have kind of etched up a little higher and you want to do a spot check, give me a call. I'm happy to intervene and try to save you some money and give you some good solid advice. Talk to you soon. Kevin Retcher, First Meridian Mortgage, KSA Insurance Agency, Jobin Realty. Here to help save you money in one way or another. Talk to you soon.